Hi YouTube, welcome to DigiTales. I'm Olivia. Today we're going to be unboxing and reviewing the brand new 13-inch MacBook Pro with Touch Bar in Space Gray. So some of you may know that the new 2016 MacBook Pro only has USB-C ports. So we've actually had to purchase a number of other dongles and adapters to try out as well. So we'll also give you guys a bit of a review of those. Let's get started with the unboxing. Ooh, shimmy. The first look, the new MacBook Pro. It's the 13-inch in space gray. More protective cellophane. It's so small. I don't know if you guys can see, but that is so thin. Let's have a look at what else is in the box. So we've got the, oh there we go, designed by Apple in California certification. And then we've got the plug, etc. in here as well for charging. So I know that there's been some comments about this new wire being quite different, because it's very, very stiff in comparison to the previous standard Apple wires, and it is quite stiff. I don't think it's gonna make that much of a difference to my life, but it's definitely a bit of a change there from Apple, from the product and style. Okay, so that's, as far as I know, that's everything that's in the box. So let's just take all these bits out, and then that's it. Yeah, you can't get in there. That's it, cool. So I'm just going to leave you guys in suspense for the tiniest bit longer before we open up the new MacBook Pro and have a look at the kind of the functionality, because I decided to just bring out my Surface Book quickly just to show you guys a little bit of a comparison, because obviously these are both brand new laptops for 2016. There is a bit of a difference in size and a couple of the performance features. So first of all, both 13-inch laptops, but as we can see, the Surface Book is actually quite a bit bigger. So if you just see them side by side like that, you can see it's quite a bit wider. And then if we just pop them on top like this, you can see the Surface Book is actually generally quite a bit bigger all the way around. There we go, hopefully you guys can see that properly. And then the other piece as well, at the back, is quite a bit chunkier on the Surface Book, but obviously it's mainly because it's got the mechanism to be able to remove the screen, so you can use it as a tablet, which is obviously, you know, it's quite a cool feature. So those are sort of the main differences from that perspective. And now I'm just gonna lift them both up at the same time, use my strength of a bear to see what the weight difference is like. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, the Surface Book, I'd say it's definitely quite a bit heavier. Obviously we'd have to weigh them for proper accuracy, but I think just generally kind of carrying them around, you definitely feel quite a bit of a difference having this in your bag over the MacBook Pro. So in general, my Surface Book has been a really great laptop for me, especially from like using it for work and that type of thing. With the extra battery and the more powerful graphics card, it's given me all day battery life, and it's just been a really great performer overall. But there are a couple of things that I think probably hold it back, that have been predominantly the main reasons why I have chosen to go back over to the MacBook Pro for this year. First of all, obviously the all-day battery life is great, but Microsoft have kind of failed to figure out like how to put a laptop to sleep, basically, which can be really frustrating. So sometimes I'll get into work and I'll expect to turn on my laptop and it'll have like battery life for the rest of the day, but I'll turn it on and it'll be like basically dead, or it'll have like maybe 2 hours left, if that. And basically it's because whilst it's been in my bag overnight, it's decided to turn itself on and just be on for like hours and really overheat. And it's just really quite frustrating that they haven't managed to figure out how to just tell it to go to bed when we need it to. So the second thing that I found is really frustrating with the Surface Book is, so basically it's got the mini display port here, which obviously is for your HDMI, VGA dongles, etc. And as somebody who has to kind of present quite often in work, kind of day to day, one of the things that I found is that I can't actually rely on it working every time. Sometimes it will connect to the monitor, sometimes it won't, and it's just really unpredictable, and sometimes it can be quite frustrating and sometimes even a little bit embarrassing when you're about to present to somebody quite senior and then it just doesn't feel like working for you that day. Now let's talk about touchscreens. So the Surface Book does have a touchscreen. The Apple MacBook Pro does not. Obviously it has the touch bar, which we'll have a look at, but let's go back to touch screens just for a minute. So with the Surface Book, one of the kind of cool features is obviously as you use it as a laptop, you can just touch the screen and mess around with it, but you can also detach the screen itself. So let's just detach it. There we go. Okay, so screen detached. So now I can use it as a tablet and play with it, which in theory, you would think would be really great, especially in like a working environment. It's a case of like, you can get something up on your screen and you could pass it around to everybody else in the room. You can walk around with it, it just makes things much easier. But if I'm honest, I've never used it once and I don't actually kind of feel any need to. And whenever I do want to ever go back to using a tablet in that kind of situation, I still always revert to my iPad Pro because I just love the whole iOS interface and how it works, and it's just kind of always been my go-to. So the wait is over. We have now opened up the MacBook Pro. So let's just go through some first impressions. First of all, I think the biggest thing that jumps out at me, other than obviously the touch bar, is the giant trackpad. It's absolutely huge, which honestly I love because I've always been a trackpad user. I've never used a mouse since I've had my first laptop when I was like 13. So I'm really happy about that. That's going to be brilliant. Also the keys themselves are so flat. It's like they don't really come off at all. It's amazing. They feel so good as well to use. So what else is there? Obviously, yes, okay, so the USB-C ports, we've got 4 of them on the sides. We've got 2 on this side. Spin it around, we've got 2 on this side, and I believe that's, yeah, headphone jack as well is also there. Yeah, so I think that's generally kind of first things that really stand out. The touch bar itself looks really nice. Obviously this bit right here on the end, that's gonna be our fingerprint scanner. So that'll be very convenient, although it might not help my online shopping habits because I'm gonna just be going buy on everything. But yeah, generally that's it. I think also the space gray color, because this is my first space gray laptop, and I think it actually looks really nice. So in a moment, we're going to have a play with the touch bar with Final Cut Pro, because it's one of the apps that I use essentially on a daily basis to edit all of our videos. But first of all, I just want to go through the bunch of adapters and dongles that we purchased to basically, well, make things work with the MacBook Pro. And I think we probably spent an additional £100 in total for all of these dongles and adapters. So I don't know if you guys might be aware, but when the new MacBook Pro came out, Apple actually received an awful lot of backlash because of the cost, essentially, of people having to buy a lot of additional pieces of dongles and adapters, etc., so that they could actually make use of their MacBook Pro. And because of that, they actually slashed a lot of the prices, which is quite unlike Apple to do that. So if you had already purchased them like we had, we did actually receive an automatic refund, which was quite cool. So yes, it was quite a bit of extra cash to spend, but it wasn't quite as bad as it was a week before we bought them. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so let's just open a few of these up. I think the first thing to mention is the power adapter extension cable. So Apple used to actually provide these with the new MacBook Pro that you purchased. For this one, a 2016 MacBook Pro with Touch Bar, they do not give you the extension cable anymore, which is really unfortunate. So you do actually have to buy this as an additional item. So I'll just open this up quickly for you. Woo! There we go. It's our extension cable. Cool. So I'm going to be using that like all the time. Next up, we've got a USB 3 to USB-C adapter. So these weren't actually that expensive. I'll also mention that quite a few of the bits that we purchased aren't actually from Apple themselves. We got them from other websites, Amazon, etc., because there were less expensive alternatives out there. So this thing is tiny. Next up, we've got something that we absolutely could not possibly do without, which is the USB-C card reader for our memory cards, which we use obviously for filming and doing photos and all that kind of stuff. So this particular dongle that I've got, it works with the larger memory cards as well as the mini SD cards as well, and you can also use them both at the same time, which is quite cool. I actually quite like that feature. So again, this one wasn't an Apple product. This is another brand called SANTACON, it looks like. So this is the USB-C multi-port adapter. So this does HDMI, USB, and it also does the USB-C, so it's like a through port as well. Cool, it's quite nice actually. Next one, we've got USB-C to USB adapter. There we go. The next one. This is going to be a lot to carry around. Some of these things are also quite small. I'm going to have to get some kind of little accessories pouch, I think, to carry along with my MacBook Pro. Okay, so this one is the USB-C to Ethernet adapter. Okay, so this one's definitely going to come in handy if I'm traveling around to various different offices and client offices as well, so we can connect to internet. So there we go, that's our Ethernet adapter. Okay, so we've taken one of the memory cards out of the camera that we're currently using to film. So we're going to have a look at some of the footage, obviously, that we've been filming for this video. So I'm going to use my new SANTACON card reader. So we're going to use a touch bar to create a new event. Let's call this MacBook Pro unboxing and review. Cool. Now that we've got our footage loaded into our new project in Final Cut Pro, we'll just have a look at some of these clips here. So as you guys can see, the touch bar is already coming up with some options for doing some bits and pieces, and also over here we're obviously doing a screen recording whilst we're doing this, so we can also see that it is recording on the side as well. So we've got both up there, which is quite cool. So now, I've got a clip that I've just dragged into my timeline. So what did these buttons do? Let's have a look. So if I do that, okay, so it cuts it. So if I put the play bar in one particular place and then I press this button here, it cuts the clip down. So that's cool. Just want to have a play with it and see how it all works. What does this do? Oh, I like it. Oh, this is so much better. So usually when I do my editing, I use my Mac Pro and I use obviously a normal keyboard. So doing it on here with the touch bar, this is already really cool. Like the zoom in and out feature, this is brilliant. This is going to make my life so much easier. I love it. Okay, let's just X out of that so we can get back to look at some of the other features before I get too excited and stuck on one. So what does this one do? Okay, so it does the same thing. It cuts it at the end or at the beginning, so you can choose how you want to do that as well. I wonder if we can do anything, for example, with color balance. Let's have a look at the color board, if it does anything with this. No. Okay, there is no interaction with the touch bar there when we look at messing around with the color board in Final Cut Pro. So that's interesting. So it must be limited only to certain features in Final Cut Pro at the moment. I wonder if there'll be further updates that will come out so it interacts with more than just the editing from a kind of the timeline perspective. So that'll be cool. Okay, but I think so far, generally at the moment, I'm really enjoying using the touch bar. I think it's quite a cool feature, and I imagine I will continue to use it when I'm editing and doing that type of thing. It'll be interesting also to have a play around with Photoshop. I did open that earlier, but it didn't seem to be much interaction as of yet. So I'm wondering if that's also going to be a further update that's going to come out hopefully in the near future, and we can play around with that too. But overall, I think the feel of it, the look of it, kind of the different things you can do, I think it is actually going to make things hopefully a bit easier, maybe even a bit quicker when it comes to editing my various different projects in Final Cut Pro. Something else worth mentioning is that I typically have been doing all of my editing on a Mac Pro, which obviously it's very powerful and it's perfect for doing any video editing, etc. if you're working kind of a desktop home environment. But this so far, despite the fact obviously we've gone for the 13-inch, which is slightly got a less powerful graphics card, generally the performance actually seems pretty much on par at the moment. We'll see how that changes obviously as my project within Final Cut Pro kind of gets bigger and more complicated, as we have more clips and all of that will be going into the timeline. At the moment, in terms of adding different clips in there, it seems to do it very quickly, very smoothly. Doesn't seem to be much of an issue from a rendering perspective. So overall, I think the experience on the go editing, playing around with this should be quite a positive one, hopefully. So we'll definitely keep you guys updated though as we continue to do more work with the MacBook Pro and see how it goes kind of with more long-term usage. That's a wrap for today on our unboxing and review of the new MacBook Pro with Touch Bar. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to like and subscribe to our channel, and please share the videos that you like as well. Over the next couple of weeks, we've got a number of things going to be happening and more unboxings for you. I think the one that I'm most excited about though is going to be SANTACON in London. You guys are going to see me dressed up as a really cute little Mrs. Claus going on a bit of a bar crawl. So that should be some interesting Christmassy fun for you guys to join us on. So we'll see you soon.